Hey guys, Steph here. I am struggling today with whatever this throat thing is, so please bear with me with my frog voice here, and I'm gonna sip tea in between so that I don't totally lose my voice. So I'm so excited that you guys are still hanging in. My plan with this video is that I'm gonna share this in the big Team Fitspiration group as well. Since I don't think I have it in me to do an entire webinar tonight for our team webinar. So I thought that this information was really useful, and so I'm going to share it in our Holiday Revive group and in Team Fitspiration, like I mentioned. Just to give anybody some background who's not in our Holiday Revive group, this is a group that's a 2-week long group, and there's a giant cash pot I'm so excited about. I think we're going to get up into the thousands for this, maybe hit 1,000. It's going amazing. These people in this group, these coaches, are just absolutely killing it, really, really taking their businesses to the next level or reviving their business through the holidays. That was our goal, and it's really exciting to see. So what we did was we polled our group up front and asked what everybody would like to learn, like what kind of topics people wanted to hear about, and what would be really helpful for them in their businesses. So one of them was a daily to-do list / schedule, like what that looks like for a successful coach. And I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of what my day looks like, but bear in mind that my day looks the way that it does 2 years into building this business. So now that's not to say that you slow down, because I certainly still work hard every single week, every single month. But I'm going to tell you a little bit more of the background. Just to give you guys an idea of what my first year looked like. I was enrolled in 2 or 3 weeks or something like that as a new coach. And then it took me a couple more months to hit Diamond, but I hit Diamond in 88 days total. So just under 3 months as a coach. And I signed up in October of 2012, and I was Diamond the very first week of January, I believe. So, and I didn't do anything with my business in December. It was pitiful. I didn't hit Success Club. I think I've been pretty open with our team about that. But so that just kind of goes to show what you can do come January. So if you guys are in this Holiday Revive group and you're kind of oh, how do I get this thing going? I'm barely at Emerald, or I'm a brand new coach. Don't even worry, because when January hit, I was boom, boom, boom. Major growth happened in our team at that point. So just hold on, because the big wave is real for sure. So at that point, those first few months of my business, I wasn't doing anything really overachiever it didn't really hit me. I didn't really have my groove in my business until I was a Diamond. It was actually probably closer to, I was really engaged in the business, got on team calls. I was very excited about it. Was consistently hitting Success Club from the time that I was Diamond and on. So, but I was my coach Brandy's guest to the Success Club trip, which was at Disney World that year, which was in March. So went Diamond in January. March, I was Brandy's guest to Disney World for the Success Club trip, which is going to be held in Cancun this year. That was when my eyes were really open to this whole Beachbody thing. I was I had heard names like Janelle Summers and Mindy Wender and, so many people, Scotty Hobbs, and I met them in Disney, and I was just this is real. These are normal people. They did this, they made this happen. And I was just completely on fire from that point on. So I like to think of my business really starting not even until I was a Diamond coach, not even until that March following when I signed up. So at that point, like I said, was on fire. I came home ready to just work. And what I did was sacrificed a lot of time went into building my business. I set up camp at my kitchen table. At that time, my husband was working out of state, didn't live at home. So, excuse me, he would visit on the weekends, and that was really tough. I had 3 little ones. My youngest had just turned a year at that point. And it was definitely a struggle to balance it all, but I just got myself really organized with lists. I'm going to take a sip of tea just so I can get through this. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so set up camp at my kitchen table. That was like my little office, and I made it work. I had my notebooks out. I kept lists of everything. It was pretty much sun up to sundown. I was in Beachbody coach mode. I needed this to work. I needed my husband home. I needed to be making at least, what he was making, which was not much at that time, to bring him home from his lame part-time job at the time, and bring him home to us, So I had a big why, and I worked with that. I let that fuel me. And so what my schedule looked like was pretty much my kids had a babysitter at the time. I hired somebody, invested in hiring somebody part-time. She was with me 3 times a week for 4 hours at a time. And it was so helpful. And so what I did in those hours was I would take my computer and go to Starbucks, and I would, get as much done as far as power hours go at that time. I'm going to get through this, I promise. So I'm going to screen share and show you guys what my schedule kind of looked like at that time, what I really prioritized, for myself. So let's make this bigger. Okay, so here's our new coach daily to-do list. So again, I'm kind of backtracking because by the time that I really dove in, I was already a diamond coach. But this is what I think is really important for new coaches to be focused on. You guys can screenshot this. I'll go over it a little bit, but you might want to save it for your records because I think it's something good to make sure that you're checking off each day. Check in challenge groups, get that first social media post in. Drink your Shakeology, work out. You need that second social media post. Add 2 to 5 new people to your network. You can follow new people in your niche. What I like to do is go through Instagram and just, find people within hashtags that are in my own niche. You can sponsor or boost your Facebook page. You guys can find the first video I did for the Holiday Revive group, and I talked a little bit about how I sponsored my Facebook page on a budget. Friend request people on Facebook. I started with people that I went to high school with. All the people that you kind of swear you'll never be friends with again after high school, those people. So that's what I started with. When people accepted my friend request, I would send them a quick hello and get a conversation going. Oftentimes I'd kind of stalk their Facebook page first just to see, do they have kids? I would ask about their family, things like that. I made sure that I returned all messages every single day, followed up with people. So this is where that keeping a list really comes in handy. As long as I was keeping my list of people that I was talking to, no messages got lost in my Facebook inbox. And I will post an example of some follow-up messages that I like to send because honestly, you guys, the fortune is in the follow-up. I know we say that all the time, but it's so true. Half of my Success Club points come toward the end of the month when I'm following up with everybody I've been talking to all month long. And then you need that end of the day social media post. So that's a big one too. This is like the most pitiful video ever. I'm so sorry, you guys. Okay, then I made an Emerald to Diamond daily to do. This is just a little bit bigger because, as you rank advance, your responsibility level kind of changes too. And that's really important to remember that, once you start sponsoring coaches and building a team of your own, it's about them too. It's not just about you. So you cannot just sponsor coaches and, go on with your business. You need to make sure that they're engaged as well and they're succeeding and hitting their goals as well. And that is where leadership really comes into play. And I'll touch on that in a little bit, assuming I can get to that point. So this one looks kind of similar. Like I mentioned, you check into challenge groups, check into your team pages, okay? Like really stay engaged in what's going on within your team pages, because that's really important. You don't want to miss any team calls. That's probably something I should have added. Make sure you're on team calls. Anytime there was a team call, for me, I was on it. It didn't matter if there were 2 a day, back to back, or if I had just been on one yesterday and I was kind of bored of team calls. Nope, I was on that team call. Any information I could get my hands on, I was on it. And I should probably have the national wake up call on here too, because I think that that's huge. Every Monday morning, it's like tips from the top coaches in the business. And so, it's like what they're doing in their business and how they're successful. So heck yeah, you should definitely schedule that in. Shakeology and workout, that's a must no matter what. That never stops. Whether you're a 10-star diamond or a brand new coach, you're always drinking Shakeology and working out, because that's what we do. We're coaches. Midday social media posts. So you'll kind of catch the theme, how I'm trying to, illustrate how you can break those up throughout the day within your schedule. You want to make sure that you're posting 2 to 3 times a day. Really good content. Information about your 5 things. What are 5 things that make up who you are and your interests list? You just want to be you, you want to represent who you are. And so make those posts really thought out, and try not to post about coaching 2 days in a row or a challenge group 2 days in a row. What I try and do is really strategically, space those out. So people are getting a really well-rounded content list. Again, from the last to-do list, add at least 5 people to your network. So that goes up a little bit. Add to Instagram, sponsor Facebook page. You can do it on a budget. Check out my YouTube channel for that. And send requests to mutual friends, mostly people with like a lot of, mutual friends. So, if somebody you went to high school with and you're looking at their Facebook page and you have 25 mutual friends or something, you should add that person and, start a conversation with them, because chances are you maybe ran in the same circle with them growing up, or you work together, you went to college together, whatever it may be. Those are the people to add, and you want them to be seeing what you're up to. Return all messages. Check in with PS coaches. Like I mentioned earlier, when you're Emerald and Diamond, you're a leader. As soon as you sponsor that very first coach, that you're the leader. You're the one leading the way, and you definitely don't want your upline to be left doing, the reaching out for your entire downline, because you're the one who had that relationship with that person. And so it's important that you're taking on that leadership role. I know that there's a learning curve there. I remember feeling nervous about that, and I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But it's a big deal, and it's your commitment to yourself and your business. Plan and invite your team to run new challenge groups. Start leading, so that kind of follows along that same theme. Have an ongoing message thread with your coaches, so you can all be working together and get excited and run challenge groups together. Check in with them, see how things are going. If they have Success Club points on the board, congratulate them. Make sure that they know that you're excited for them and that you're noticing them trying and working. Make sure you're following them on Facebook and engaging on their posts so they feel supported and, excited about this new journey. Follow up, again, fortune is in the follow up, you guys. This is so huge. If you're not following up, it's not going to happen. I mean, like I said, most of my sales, most of my new coach recruits come because I followed up. Sometimes people get scared, or sometimes they forget. Think of all the times you've been online shopping. You throw something in your cart, and then your kid, yells from the other room, and you get distracted and you forget to buy the thing in your cart. Same thing with purchasing a challenge pack. It happens. And they just need a little reminder, that we're here if they have any questions. You certainly don't have to be pushy, but you can let them know that you were thinking of them, and that you're there to ask any questions too if they had some last minute concerns about, specifics. And that end of the day social media post, high traffic times on Facebook is nighttime. You want to get into the heads of your followers. And that, for me, my niche is moms usually. So I try to think in terms of when kids are down for bed. Like when kids are in bed, that's when moms and dads are sitting down on the couch and relaxing and sifting through Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to stop screen sharing now, and so you can see my pitiful faces. Let's see here. Uh-oh, how do I make it little? There we go. Okay, so here's my face again. Still hanging in there. All right, you guys. So as far as like what I was doing day to day and where I focused my attention and things like that, as a new coach, I was probably spending 2 hours roughly a day on my business. Challenge groups were my job. I talked a little bit about how I actually started my business in the first Holiday Revive video that I have on my YouTube channel. And that was my main focus. I didn't have a team at that point. I hadn't started sponsoring. I didn't need to think of new trainings or anything like that. So my job was my challenge groups. And you guys will find that as well when you're first starting your businesses. Those challenge groups are where your 100% focus needs to be. Well, I should say maybe like 75% focus, because what a little bit of your focus should also be on recruiting, talking about the business, inviting people to be in your challenge group. Sorry, you guys, this is so sad. So you can convert them from challengers to coaches. As an Emerald, I was probably spending 2 to 4 hours per day on my business. My challenge groups and recruiting got about 50% focused. And that's pretty true for the rest of your business. You really want to make sure that you're running strong challenge groups, but that you're also growing your business also. And so every month you're hitting Success Club, you're inviting new people to your challenge groups, new people to join your team. So you just keep on growing and moving forward. My focus was heavy on hitting diamond. Okay. I was like so tunnel vision. Once December passed, I was so mad at myself for not really engaging that month that I made that commitment to myself. I set a date. Okay. That's a big one. Put a date on the calendar. So sad. And really, really make that goal happen. As a diamond, I was probably spending at least 4 hours per day on my business. My challenge groups got about 50% focus, and then the other 50% was split between recruiting and team building. So kind of the same as Emerald, but you just sort of have to learn how to multitask a little bit better. So I have my handy Erin Condren planner here, and I use it for my notes as well. That really helps me stay organized, check things off my list, make sure I'm on task, getting stuff done that needs to be done that day. I spent a lot of time on learning leadership skills. That was a big one for me. When I branched off from my coach Brandy's team to form Team Fitspiration, a lot of thought went into that. And one thing I want to touch on is I get really excited and nervous also for coaches when they're brand new diamonds and branching off right away, because it's a big commitment. And what I want you guys to make sure you're doing is that you're fully prepared to take on that role of leadership. And if you aren't fully prepared for that, it's okay. Nobody is going to kick you out. Nobody is going to look at you like, oh, you don't have your own team page yet? No way. Make sure you are ready. It took me probably until I was like 1 or 2 star qualifying to finally branch off, because Brandy and I worked so well together. We ran trainings together, but I just felt like I needed to have more of that personal touch with my own downline. And that's when I started my own team page, and I was all in with that. I knew that I couldn't take a day off. I needed to be the one showing up in there every single day, not just posting trainings and like throwing stuff at people. Show up and be human, talk about what you're doing in your business. Am I hitting Success Club? What am I working on this week? What is my goal to hit Success Club by? Those kind of things. And that really helped my baby team at the time see that I was still working too, and we were doing this together. That's also when I started one-on-one calls with all coaches in my downline. So what I did was I went into the files section in my group page and I set up a blank document and I just put down what hours of the day I would have open slots, and anybody in the downline could put themselves in there. And it was so cool because I got to know the whole team. So that was a big one for me. I'm almost done because my voice is like about to go. I was very focused on my coach's goals. Okay, so that once you're a diamond, you can't go any higher. Okay, there's no more rank advancement for you. Your advancement depends solely on your team's success. If your team isn't finding success, it means you're not probably helping them find success, and you need to really dig deep and get to know your team's goals. Okay, you're not going to go 1-star and 2-star and 3-star and et cetera, and make big incomes and weekly paychecks if your team is totally lost and floundering around. You've got to dig in, figure out who's working, who really wants this, why they want this, and help them reach their goals. It's not about us anymore as leaders. It's about the entire team, and that's what leadership is. So I know this was kind of all over the board here with, focus, and I wish I could go more into like a specific schedule, but I'm about to lose my voice completely. So thank you guys for hanging in there, and have a great night.